Big addition.
What's up, you guys? TechChucker here, and I've got a review for you of the Neca Alien vs. Predator arcade-style warrior predator. Now, originally I was not planning on getting all of these, but when you see them in the store and they look so good, you kind of have to have them. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alright, so the articulation is pretty much the same on this figure as it is on all of these arcade NECA Predator figures, but this warrior figure, his head is on a ball peg, and he's really only able to look up about that far. He's able to get his chin down about that far, which is not really that amazing. He is able to look side to side, no real issues with that, and then he's got a really good amount of tilt, which is great for a lot of those emotion type of poses. In the shoulders, be careful. Be very careful. This hose here is attached to the chest piece and this shoulder piece. And this shoulder piece is connected to the arm, not the shoulder. So as you turn it, it's going to pull. So George, Plastic Addict, pay attention to that. Don't break it. All right? You've been warned. So he can look up. He can move his arm up about that far. I'm not going to move it too much further because I don't want to risk breaking anything. He cannot swivel, because if you do, you're going to break that hose. But the other side certainly can. There's nothing hindering this side. And then he does have a bicep swivel, but again, don't move it too far, otherwise you're going to bust that little hose. And then he does have double jointed elbows also, but again, there's another hose behind here on the back of his elbow or his arm connecting this part to this part. So be very, very careful that it's not binding. Now the nice thing is it should be long enough that you can move that all the way and you're not going to break it, but be careful. He has the communicator that works. And, you know, the only issue is it's not really painted on the inside. It would have been cool if they had some paint in there. And then this wrist gauntlet does move, but again, be careful with that hose. Otherwise, you're going to pop that off. And then he has a wrist peg and hinge. Those work good, no real issues. And it's the same on the other side as well. This wrist gauntlet also rotates, and same articulation in the wrist. Down in the torso, he has a double ball peg in the upper torso, and he can crunch that far forward. Add in the waist, and he can crunch about that far. He can go back pretty decent amount. That's pretty good. And then at both joints, he can swivel. There's no hoses that are going to cause you issues with this. He can swivel at the waist as well, and he can do a side crunch, which is great. It's a little bit less, you're not going to get as much side crunch out of the waist, just out of the upper torso. Moving down into the hips, he's got those T-jointed ball joints in the hips, and he can do about that far for the splits, which is actually pretty darn good. These pieces are hindering it, otherwise he could probably go all the way, but you know, that's okay. I noticed that these legs are a little less connected. So, I mean, you still get, when you move one, the other one moves a little bit, but it's not near as bad. And we can kick forward only about that far. I think part of it is this loincloth piece that's getting in the way. And he's able to kick back a pretty decent amount. That's pretty decent. I'm pleased with that. There is an upper thigh cut that works good. There is double jointed knees. Those work excellently. I'm really pleased with that. No shin cut, but again, we've got that ball peg in the ankle, and it's fairly limited. You can pull him back that far. You can push his foot forward that much. It does swivel, and you do have ankle rocker. I'm not really pleased with the ankle articulation. I don't like that ball peg. I feel like it's going to get loose, and it is just kind of limited. The sculpt is not so much a big deal because we've seen most of this sculpt work before. It's mostly all reused, but I do really like the paint apps. I think they did a really nice job with that, especially with the head paint app. Now I really like this gray that they've got, and the different, it's basically 3 shades of gray that they are using, maybe even 4. There might be a 4th color in there, but I like how at the top of the head, basically they're creating circles to kind of give that shaded look, but still make it look like a video game. And they do that throughout the figure. On the armor pieces, you can see that they've got a little bit of that lighter color gray, and then it goes in. I really like that. I love these hoses, but we already talked about, I don't like the execution of how this is connected, etc., etc. So be careful about that. But the sculpt work is really nice. I like these. They could have been a little bit softer down here on the loincloth. These are actually a little bit harder than I think I was expecting. It would have been nice if they were a little bit softer. But again, we still have more of that paint deco down here on the thigh plates. That looks really great. They've kind of got more of a vertical color shade. And they've got that on the back here as well, on the back of his calves, which looks really nice. I really like this skirt piece. They've got a little bit of paint variation. It's lighter brown there and then darker there. His pouch is shaded really, really well. I think NECA does a great job with their paint work. They always do, and their sculpt work they do really nicely. This harness piece is fully glued on, so that's not floating or getting in the way, and so you're not going to have any issues with that. So overall, I think the sculpt on this is really well done. These dreads, the hoses are, I wish they were a little bit softer, but they're really not getting in the way of anything. So, I'm pleased with that. And now we need to know just how tall this guy is. So he comes in at roughly 8 inches, almost 8¼ inches tall. Pretty good size. Let's do some size comparisons. Let's put this guy in next to him. And this is the Hunter Predator. Let's take a look and see what does the Fugitive Predator look like next to them. And Fugitive is obviously taller than everybody in here. And we've got Deadpool in here, and obviously Deadpool is considerably shorter than all of them, as we would expect. But, this is what a Marvel Legends would look like with your Predator collection if you are doing crossovers. And last but not least are the accessories that we get with this figure. And I'm actually really pleased with the accessories. I think they did a really nice job. We get this really long spear, which actually has darts basically sculpted into it, which is really kind of cool. I like the paint apps. I think they did a nice job with the paint to make it look like it's still a video game piece, but it's sculpted nice. It's got some nice detail. There just isn't as much like dry brushing or black wash to give it that real detailed look, which is actually what I would expect for this style of paintwork. And then he also comes with the standard shoulder cannon. This design I like a lot better than the Hunter one, which there's not much for difference. Maybe it's just the execution, but this one I can actually move and use the articulation, and it feels just a little bit sturdier, so I'm really pleased with that. Again, we have that nice paint app. It follows that whole theme, and I really like this. And we'll show you what it looks like on the figure in just a minute, but I really want to talk about this rifle, this gun. I mean, this thing is just sick. I love this thing. It is so cool. It's just look at this thing. It's really cool. I like that they kept the paint deco. It looks like the arcade look that we would expect, but just look at all the detail sculpted into this thing. It's just amazing. There's so many cool little handles and nooks and crannies and whatnot that are, nooks and crannies. I said that. But just so much detail work on this sculpt. I'm just really pleased with this. Very, very happy. Let's take a look and see, can he actually hold any of these accessories? All right, first things first, we're going to throw this shoulder cannon on just to see what this looks like. So basically this is an up peg or a tab, and that just tabs right in at the bottom here, and then get the hairpiece or the hose out of the way, and then you're going to slide that in until the tab at the top slides into the little groove, Might have to give it a little bit of extra pressure. And there you go. And like I said, this one's cool because this one I could actually get to articulate so his shoulder cannon can not shoot him in the head like the other one did. All right, can he hold his staff or his spear? So this is a little bit, we did get a little bit different hand here. Let's see if we can get this in. I'm not super pleased with the hands. These are a little bit less rigid fingers, so you can get him to be able to hold it, which is nice. But again, I just wish that the hands were a little bit more well designed to be able to hold this spear. Okay, so one thing that I did notice about the spear is it twists. Now, I pulled pretty darn hard to try and pull this apart, and I haven't been able to get it. So I would say use caution if you're going to try and pull this apart, so that way then you can slide it into his hands a little bit easier. But for some reason, these rotate. So, you know, maybe that is what will help him to be able to hold this a little bit better. But again, like I said, I'm not comfortable with trying to pop this. I'll have to look and see if there's other reviewers that have done it. Let me know if you have in the comments. And I managed to get him to be able to hold on to this rifle. It's, the hands, again, are not designed to be able to hold this as well as we would like, because this one is a little too loose. This one's just a hair too tight, and they're not quite at the right angles, but you certainly can do it. You can get them to hold it. And again, I really love this weapon. I think it's super, super cool. Very glad to have it. We'll have to see if I can find any other hands that might work and have a similar paint look, at least, to see if we can get him to hold them a little bit better. But still very, very pleased. His wrist blades do come out. Mine are slightly bent, but still I'm pretty pleased. I like the look. All right, so overall, I'm very pleased with this figure. I think it's great. I think NECA did a nice job. Is it a must-have? I would say it's probably not an absolute must-have, although getting this rifle is certainly something that's gonna put it way up on the list for probably a must-have. So let me know in the comments below, do you have this figure? What do you think of it? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and until next time, I'll see you later.